Hello and welcome to the channel. Be sure to share, like, and comment down below. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button for daily videos on news and politics. Sarah Carter, Deep State is terrified of the second anti-Trump dossier that's coming out. Investigative journalist Sarah Carter went on Fox and Friends on Sunday morning to discuss the explosive FISA memo that was released on Friday. Sarah Carter says that the Deep State is terrified of a second bogus dossier that is about to come out.
Journalist Sarah Carter has been covering this story from the beginning. You know that. She joins us now to weigh in live. Good to see you, Sarah. And I wonder whether or not you can tee any of that up, because I remember a couple of days before the Nunes memo was released on Friday, John Kerry, the former head of the State Department under President Obama, was out there aggressively saying this is going to endanger national security. This Nunes memo cannot come out. Was his view shaded a little bit by maybe what he and his department did with the dossier?
I think you're right on the mark there, Ed. Look, they came out, not just Kerry, but we saw, Eric Holder. Mm-hmm. We saw many other members of the Obama administration come out and say this is going to destroy national security. We don't want this out. Director Comey was another one, former FBI Director Comey. And what we discovered was there was nothing in there, and I've spoken to a number of U.S. intelligence sources about this. There was nothing in that memo at all that would have damaged national security of the United States or the processes by which they gather the FISA warrants, right? Or the applications. So now we have to ask ourselves why. And I believe you're right. This is due to the second memo that the House Intelligence Committee is putting together. And remember, we're still waiting for the Inspector General's report that's going to be coming out. That's going to be directed at Andrew McCabe, Deputy, now former Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, and others. And I think that they're terrified of what's going to come out here, because this is what we know. There was a second dossier that was put together by a person named Cody Shear. He is a very controversial activist, a former reporter who worked with the Clintons in the past, and the FBI was also using this second dossier as part of what they were doing to back up the other dossier, the Christopher Steele unverified dossier. Another thing that's important is we believe, and I've been talking to sources, that Christopher Steele was also sending information to the State Department in bits and snippets. But I think the most important thing here, and one of the things that they're going to be looking at very closely, are the leaks. There were a number of leaks of unverified information by possibly senior members of the Obama administration.
Wow. Well, I want to bring Rachel in as well, and I hate to interrupt you, but you said something about a second dossier, and I've heard rumblings of that, but I'm not sure our viewers have heard too much about it. So briefly, so we can get Rachel in here as well, is this a second anti-Trump dossier? What do we know?
Okay, this is what we know here. There is a second anti-Trump dossier that I have been able to confirm. That was written by Cody Shear. Now, he is not an expert in espionage. He has no background in intelligence. He is a former reporter and a political activist. He also had a close relationship with Cindy Blumenthal. And remember, I talked about that on the show before. I wrote a piece about it, how Cindy Blumenthal would be connected to the dossier in one fashion or another. And those are the bits of information, as we unravel this great mystery of these dossiers, those are the little bits of information that we have out there. Now, the House Intelligence Committee and others who are investigating this, like Senator Grassley, we don't want to take away from Senator Grassley, because Senator Grassley's letter and his exposure of Christopher Steele and asking for everybody's communications. If you look at Senator Grassley's letter, he has asked the DOJ for all the communications of Cody Shear, of Cindy Blumenthal, of Christopher Steele. Those are little pieces of this puzzle that we're putting together. And as we've seen, they're kicking and screaming. They don't want this information out into the public. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they were involved in subversively using this dossier to leak information.
Sarah, sounds like what you're saying is that it's maybe we're going to go talk about not the Russians, but all the collusion happening in these investigations.
Thank
you, Sarah. Sure. I don't have another question. You answered all of them, so thank you.
Thanks.
Be sure to share, like, subscribe, and comment down below and give me your opinion on this report. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.